Hi, everyone, and welcome to my Hormones and Behavior course. You can feel free to call me Dr. Olson, Dr. O, Eric, or whatever makes you feel most comfortable. Now, I'm a neuroscientist and a neuropharmacologist by training, but I'm really most excited to teach hormones and behavior in comparison to all of my other courses. Compared to some of my more polished classes like drugs, brain, and behavior, this is a relatively new class for me that I've only taught a few times, but I'm very passionate about it. The course development and material in this one is still evolving, but then so is the field. As we'll see early in the semester, even in some of our first lectures, while neuroscience is often considered to be a relatively young discipline relative to physics and some aspects of biology, it's ancient compared to endocrinology or hormones or the study of hormones. We are very much in a discovery phase when it comes to understanding how hormones influence behavior, and what we are learning is genuinely fascinating. I have increasingly come to appreciate that hormones may be as powerful, if not more powerful, than neurotransmitters in shaping brain function and behavior, often in profoundly reciprocal ways. Now, I want to take about 5 minutes to give you a clear sense of what this class is about, how it's organized, and what I hope you take away from it. This course explores a fundamental question in behavioral neuroendocrinology. How do hormones shape behavior, and how does behavior, in turn, shape our hormonal states? Many claims circulate in everyday life about hormones influencing things like aggression, mood, stress, sexuality, gender identity, and athletic performance. In this class, we'll examine whether and how these claims are supported by scientific evidence. Our approach is grounded in behavioral endocrinology, which sits at the intersection of neuroscience, physiology, and psychology. We'll study topics such as sexual differentiation and reproductive behavior, stress and emotion, biological rhythms, learning and memory, neuroplasticity, and gender-related biology. Across these topics, we'll evaluate both animal and human research, paying close attention to what the data actually show, where the evidence is strong, and where uncertainty or debate remains. And when there are periods of debate, that is most certainly something we are going to lean into and have very rich discussions. The underlying perspective of the course is biological psychology. That means we will emphasize physiological mechanisms, endocrine systems, hormone chemistry, receptors, and brain circuits over purely social or cultural explanations. Nothing against these, but these are better suited for other courses within the psychology major. We'll begin the semester by building a shared foundation in the anatomy and physiology of the endocrine system, and then use that foundation to understand how hormones influence behavior across development and across contexts. A major thematic focus of the course is stress biology, using Robert Sapolsky's book, Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers, as our central discussion text. Sapolsky's work allows us to bridge molecular mechanisms with real world consequences such as health, emotion, resilience, and disease, and will form the background of many of our weekly discussions. He is also just a very interesting and engaging writer. I think you'll very much enjoy this book. We will also read a chapter on sexual differentiation and gender identity by Nobel laureate Eric Kandel. Uh, uh, and we will hear from quite a few guest lecturers and read many peer-reviewed research articles. I base all of my lectures off of the Nelson textbook, which I recommend. However, do know that all quiz material will be based 100% on my lectures and study guides. I will never quiz you on material from the Nelson textbook that I do not cover in my recorded lectures, which I do acknowledge are a work in progress. But, the lectures and study guides alone would be sufficient preparation to make 100 on the quiz. Think of the text as being there to back up what you don't get in my lectures. This is a fully asynchronous online course, meaning we will never be required to be online at the same time. Each week follows a consistent, predictable structure. You'll review my recorded lectures and assigned readings, complete a quiz, write a short, deep thinking paragraph responding to expert material, and engage with your peers through discussion. I emphasize deep thinking and your engagement with the material through discussions. I care much more about that and you thinking deeply about the material and drawing your own authentic opinions that you can discuss, rather than regurgitating everything that I tell you in lecture, or uh, listening to my opinions so much. You're telling me what I think. I want to hear what you think. Importantly, the regular rhythm of the course is designed to help you stay on track without surprises. In addition to our weekly work, there are three major assignments that replace traditional exams. First, you'll write a critical book review on Sapolsky's Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. This is not a summary. I want an evaluation of the book's strengths, limitations, and its relevance to behavioral endocrinology. Second, you'll create an AI generated podcast based on a peer reviewed research article that you independently select through your own research. The goal here is not to outsource your thinking, but to help you learn how to use AI responsibly as a research and synthesis tool and to critically evaluate what AI produces. Third, you'll write a policy memo for the International Olympic Committee addressing fairness in athletic participation based on gender identity and sex variations. This is a challenging and highly relevant societal issue. Importantly, your grade is not, and I cannot emphasize this enough, not based on your opinion or your beliefs. I am not looking or trying to get you to believe anything. This positional statement is based solely on, or your grade on the positional statement will be based solely on how clearly you articulate a position and how well you support it using scientific evidence from behavioral endocrinology. Some of the topics in this course, especially those related to sex, gender, stress, and mental health, can be sensitive and may challenge personal beliefs or prior assumptions. This is intentional. My goal in presenting multiple expert perspectives, sometimes that contradict each other, is to foster deep critical thinking, not to persuade you toward a particular viewpoint. All respectful, evidence based perspectives are welcome in our discussions, and there are always alternative ways to demonstrate engagement if a specific discussion becomes personally difficult or traumatizing for you. If something does become personally challenging or traumatizing, please reach out to me. I will work with you to find an alternative path to earn full credit. In terms of expectations, this is a very interactive course. You're expected to participate consistently, comment thoughtfully on your peers' work, and stay on schedule. I estimate that you'll spend around 10 to 12 hours per week on this course, including lectures, readings, quizzes, discussions, and written assignments. If you expect this to be a very easy, hands-off online course, I think you should reevaluate the situation. I embrace the community of practice model and reject the stage on the stage format that I used to practice when I first began teaching and is still common in many lecture-based classes. In my opinion, the best thing about CU Denver is the diverse student body. Many of you come from different backgrounds, cultures, and lived experiences. We can learn much more about hormones and behavior as a community. I don't want you to just regurgitate my lectures to me. I want you to consider my presence, my perspectives, in addition to the cognitive presences of the wide variety of experts that I've curated for you. And again, sometimes these viewpoints will contradict each other. I also want you to consider your peers' presences, their perspectives, and importantly, make your own presence be impactful in the learning process. Finally, a word about support. I'm very accessible by email and happy to meet with you individually over Zoom. I'm committed to inclusive, equity-minded teaching and universal design. If you anticipate barriers to learning in this course, academic, logistical, or personal, please reach out early so we can address them together. By the end of this semester, you should be able to explain how hormones influence behavior, critically evaluate endocrine research, engage thoughtfully with complex societal issues related to hormones, and communicate your ideas clearly and effective in writing and through civil discourse. If you stay engaged, think critically, and lean into the complexity of this material, I think you'll find this course to be challenging and deeply relevant. Welcome to the class.